Hey there, and welcome to my channel. Today I thought about doing something a bit different because, well, as you might have guessed, I had this weird dream last night. I mean, dreams are generally quite weird because they have much in common with the reality, but then there's also this surreal aspect to them that is kind of what makes them so intriguing and interesting, but also at the same time makes you wonder that why do I keep seeing all this weird stuff. So what happened in the dream, I think this part of what was kind of cueing my unconscious for this was that I saw this news article saying that Netflix is gonna basically make Squid Game as a reality show. And it was something like that first they make a show that is fictional, and then Mr. Beast makes a show about that, and then Netflix decides to make a show about, which is kind of like what Mr. Beast did. But anyways, and also if it's true that it's the most expensive show that they're ever gonna make, so yeah, sign me up. I will be watching for sure. But anyways, about the dream, I was a contestant in this Mr. Beast competition, and it was nothing. The competition was not weird, but there was kind of like this Squid Game feeling in it, even though it wasn't that, because there was only this one event that everybody was attending, and I remember the prize was $1 million for the winner, and there was a lot of competitors in the show, or in that competition. And so, but for some reason I thought that that's not a lot of money. I thought that $1 million it's not gonna be enough, so the price kind of I don't know why that was. Maybe it was partly because it was for the winner, because this was a Mr. Beast competition, so I knew that nobody else would get probably that much, right? So anyway, what was the event or the challenge we had to do? It was like this: you had this basically like an air bottle that you could fill up balloons with. So you had to fill up your own balloon, and then you had to throw the balloon kind of through this small circle or tube, and the distance was maybe, I don't know, not that far away. So, and obviously if you have a balloon, you can't throw it that far, but this was a dream, so maybe it flew a little bit further directly when you throw it. But this is what I remember. The first, basically, it was like an elimination style of competition. I'm not sure if you were against somebody, there were like pairs, and then the other one was dropped, and then you proceeded to the next round. But basically, somehow it was done until the winner of the whole thing was clear. And I remember I think it was a competition, like a duel every round, and I remember my first opponent filled his or her balloon quite big, and it went through very nicely. And then when I tried, or I guess I was first, I filled out the balloon, and it was way smaller. But I remember feeling it was very hard because the air came so fast from the bottle that you had to be careful not to leave it too small or make it too big. But I felt on the first round that I kind of screwed it up, but somehow I was able to throw it, and it went through that small tube. And I remember it was very exciting, and I remember passing several rounds, getting quite close to the finish line, but I didn't win. Which is unfortunate, because it would have been fun to win that type of competition, even if it was a dream. But anyways, I didn't win, and I remember feeling very disappointed because I knew that I was not gonna win the $1 million, or probably wasn't gonna get anything. And at that point, I guess I realized that $1 million was quite a lot of money. But this was my dream from last night, and usually when you wake up, if you have this very vivid or deep dream, it is still with you a little bit when you wake up, right? And you remember some parts of it. Maybe it was the most recent that what happened during the dream, but then it kind of starts fading away quite rapidly, and after only a minute or so you might have trouble remembering, well, basically any of it. And but this was somehow a bit different. I could remember it quite well after I woke up, and I actually wrote some things down right after, because while I could still remember them clearly. But so that was a bit odd. But I had some other stuff happening during the dreams, but they were I forgot about them already. So that was the dream, and it's we often you wonder, like, why do I keep seeing these weird dreams, right? And I think it's complicated, but also fairly simple. Our unconscious, if you think about your active side of your consciousness or your brain, you know this thing that we only use 5% or 10% of our brain capacity. Well, the rest of it, I think, is just reserved for stuff that has happened to us. And basically, you have your own personal history stored in your brain or in your mind, and it's deep there somewhere. And but while you're awake, your conscious mind cannot really go there. You can't just go there and pick up stuff. And then, but during your dreams, or when you're dreaming, the the unconscious and everything that you have stored there during your life can come through, because you're in this deep state of sleep. And that's why I think anything can basically come out during a dream. But there is no clear filter there what comes up or what is shown. So that's why they are so weird, because they are combining different things from your past, basically. And I have had, and also usually there are some types of dreams or themes that repeat over and over and over again. And I can remember about two different things that I have been dreaming about very, very often. One of them is that I am at my childhood home, which makes sense because I lived there until I was, I think, 20 or so from my birth. And we had that house until I was 30, a little bit over 30. So obviously it's a big part of my own history, so it doesn't surprise me that it comes up very often. But it's the same house, but it's different, right? Dreams, they are never copies of the reality, right? So but that comes up quite often. And then the other thing that has come up very often, also not very often but many times during my adult life, is the thing that I'm working in this storage, in this warehouse where I used to work. And what has kind of intrigued me or bothered me a bit about this dream, I'm there and I'm working, and I know it's the same place, but it's very, very different. So maybe the dream is about me returning to work there. And it's not a nightmare, but it's a bit uneasy, the dream, because the place is so different. So nothing I was used to back then where I was working there is not the same. So I remember in these dreams I'm struggling to find my way around there. It's always bigger and more complex, and nothing is where it's kind of supposed to be. So, but this dream for me is weird because it has come up very late in my adult life, and it's been at this point. I don't have that anymore, I guess, or if I do, it's very rarely, luckily. But when it came up now and then, it had been more than 10 years or something, like, since I was working there. So that to me is very interesting. It's like, why do I keep seeing this dream about that place I used to work very, very long time ago? And I wasn't even there that long. I was there full time for a while before I guess I went, before my studies started, or I was there full time during the summers and then part time during my studies. But that period didn't last for that long. It was only a few years, I think. And if you think, when I was part time, I was there maybe once a week, maximum 2 times a week, and not even full working days. So maybe 10 hours a week or something like that. So I have been wondering always when I saw that dream, like, why does my mind want to take me there still after all these years? And because I'm sure I didn't really, it's not a job that I would want to go back to. But if you think about what do dreams mean, you always want to kind of find a meaning in them. And if you think that your unconscious is telling you these things or something over and over and over, you kind of start wondering that. I was wondering, should I really go back there? Because I was like, I don't want to go back there. I did enjoy, because basically there were 2 different jobs. One was, you have these big, sorry, I don't know what you call them, but like cages, metallic cages that you then pick up all the boxes and then you ship them to the trucks. And I really didn't like that. I really, really hated that job near the end. I remember it's hard, fitting the boxes in the cages is difficult because they're so narrow, and the stuff you pick up is heavy, and it was like this grinded job that I just hated. But maybe there was this other job that was driving this truck. I'm not sure if it's called a forklift, but anyways, moving these big pallets of stuff between the warehouse, basically from the trucks when they're unloaded to the shelves, and then from the shelves to the people who do the other job of collecting them. So that was something I really enjoyed. It was something about driving that truck and just moving these big pallets full of fruits and vegetables. I enjoyed that. And I was working the night shift, and there was not so many people there. The warehouse was more empty, so you had space actually there to drive and move those things around. So maybe that, it was quite a short period. I remember driving that one summer during the nights, and after that occasionally, but then I guess more people joined there and there were other people that could do that, so I didn't have that job anymore kind of reserved for me, so we were switching. And so anyways, that was only for a short period of time, and but I have been thinking about it in these dreams and sometimes when I'm awake, and I'm sure that would be something I could do, but I know if it was my full-time job, I would not be happy. The days or the nights would be very long and exhausting, and I'm not sure how my body would react to working nighttime. At my age, when I was 25, it was great. So but that is a dream. Now that I think of it, I don't think I have seen that type of dream in a while, so maybe that time has passed. But I think we all have these repeating dreams, and it's always different, but it's kind of, there is a place where you're at that the dream takes you over and over again, and it's just weird. But other than those two, I don't think I have any repeating dreams really. Maybe there are some, but those are the two that definitely come to my mind now that I think of it. But this was I just, when I saw that dream last night, I was in a Mr. Beast competition throwing these silly balloons and not making it to the end. I just thought, this is something I really need to talk about. This is probably gonna be #1 on YouTube, because it's very interesting, right, and very intriguing. But anyways, if I see any more interesting dreams, maybe I make another one. Maybe this will be part 1 of many, or I guess hopefully not. But if you have some weird stuff that you have seen, probably we all have, I would love to hear that. So just send me an email. And but hey, thank you for watching and listening to my ramble about dreams, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.